here we go. All right, what's going on, everybody? It is your good boy JR coming to you live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, I have my good buddy here, Brandon, from Houston, Texas, from the Brandon Janot Show. Brandon, how you doing on this lovely Saturday?
Doing good. How about you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just ready to get this going. Finally, a team that actually stayed at their selected spot, so it feels pretty nice instead of having to do the whole back and forth thing. So
Right.
it feels nice to finally just have a team that is just like stay there. It's nice. It's nice, man. I love it. I love it. Today, if you haven't noticed by the title, today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Chargers, the team that everybody had second favorite to the AFC West last year, including yours truly. It just didn't happen. They were just one game away because of a simple timeout. And but we'll get into it. We'll get into that Sunday night. I don't even know if I wouldn't even call it. I would call it a Sunday night classic.
Debacle.
Well, debacle for the Chargers, a classic for us.
Okay, that's it.
What's up, Mike? What's up, man? Today it's all about the Chargers. So, if you don't mind, away we go. The Los Angeles Chargers have finished 9-8 after a season where everybody thought they were going to be the second best team to Kansas City. That ended up going to after 9-8. And surprisingly enough, who would have thought the Chargers have a top 5 offense? No way. But their defense is 29th overall. Who would have thought that? So after 9-8, they have the fifth best offense. What up, Mike? Fifth best offense, 29th best defense. And you know what? I look back at their draft class. It is depressing to see that they have the 29th best defense, especially with the names that they did have. And the names, I don't anticipate it to be this year because of the names they added this year. But we'll get into that later. But let's get into their draft class, which honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I give it a B. I give it a B minus. I mean, they hit the two biggest needs that they needed, and they added some pretty nice weapons and depth to the team, which is a team why everybody kind of has hopes for every year as, maybe dethroning the Chiefs. I mean, they've been that team now for about 3 years. But for whatever reason, they just can't do it. They just cannot get over the hump of just getting over. I don't know what it is, and we'll get into that. So first round pick 13, they take Rayshawn Slater, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Thanks a lot, Carolina. The amazing left tackle out of Northwestern, which for whatever reason, people doubted him because he played at a little tiny school. He's not going to translate to the NFL. That just tells me that you really don't know anything about football if that's your only defense. But whatever. Everybody makes choices. Everybody makes their own decisions on how they want to view players. So whatever. It doesn't matter. I had him as the best offensive tackle. Fortunately, he was not the first one taken. He was the second one taken because Penei Sewell. It was 1A, 1B for me. I actually had Rayshawn Slater just a little bit higher because I know he was a bona fide left tackle. With Penei Sewell, I don't know if he was going to – he could play left and right, but I just had Rayshawn Slater just a little bit higher. And he ended up falling to the Chargers, which, by the way, great pick, Carolina. Anyway, second round pick was the pick number 47. They got I know this name's going to sound a little familiar. If you're an old football fan like me, Asante Samuel Jr., yes, his son is now in the NFL. He played cornerback for the great history of FSU and everything. So, he had a really good career there. And his first rookie year, it was not bad. Everything that they expected him to be, and I expect him to have a bigger jump in year 2. 43 tackles, 2 interceptions, 11 pass deflections. I mean, listen, if he would have came out in this draft I think it still would have been the same. I think it still would have been the same. Uh, Garner, Derek Stingley. Maybe he would have jumped Trent McDuffie and Roger McClary, maybe Andrew Booth. But you know what? It was a blessing in disguise for him to go to the Chargers because I think he fits there.
He would have jumped Derek Stingley.
I mean, the way he played at FSU, yeah, you're probably right.
He would have jumped Derek Stingley. Sauce would have been number one still, but it would have been like, okay,
all right, 2B, 2A or 2B. Who do you like? You know, I think he would have. I think he would have landed in the first round if he felt
early first pick.
So I think he would have gone first. But you know what? I think it was a blessing in disguise. He goes to the Chargers because now they added another cornerback weapon. But we'll get to him in a little bit. Third round pick number 77, Josh Palmer, the wide receiver out of Tennessee. You know what? At this point, you know, you kind of knew what you were kind of expecting. It's just the problem is Jalen Guyton and those guys really stole a little bit of thunder from him. But other than that, an amazing red zone target, 33 receptions, 353 yards, 4 touchdowns. It's just a good weapon to have for a Justin Herbert to find you in the red zone. 20 picks later, they still stayed in the third round. Pick number 97, Trey McKitty, the tight end out of Georgia. And listen, he wasn't going to get a lot of snaps, even with, you know, an aging Jared Cook, because Jared Cook is just the favorite veteran of everybody. And 6 receptions, 45 yards.
I mean, I'm on gripes about Jared Cook, but go on, finish what you're saying.
I mean, he got a Pro Bowl for us. I don't know what happened to you guys. Anyway,
he fumbled a damn football against Tampa. That's what happened to us.
6 reception, 45 yards. And when you're a third string tight end, you know what? You take what you can. You take what you can. He's an amazing blocking tight end. And that's why the running game was so effective last year because, you know, he's just that good of a blocking tight end. Fourth round, pick 118, Chris Rumpt, the linebacker out of Duke. Listen, special teams, 19 tackles, 1 sack. But that's how you build a team. Rounds 4 through 7, that's how you build a team. You find guys that are just going to help you, carry you, develop, and just hope that they make an impact in any way. Fifth round, 159, Brendan James, the offensive tackle out of Nebraska. Well, apparently they saw him enough in preseason. He didn't have the quick feet like they anticipated, so they moved him to left guard, and he's now the backup left guard. Sixth round, pick 185, Nick Neiman, the linebacker out of Iowa. Again, 22 tackles, 1 interception. Special teams ace. You need to develop the special teams. And when you're the Chargers that just had wait a minute, Fro. The Eagles just signed this sprinter. Just need a quarterback to get him the ball. You do have a quarterback. His name is Jalen Hurts. Come on, baby. It's Jalen time in Philly, but today it's all about the Chargers in L.A. 6th round, 3 picks later, Larry Roundtree, the running back out of Missouri. Listen, you get what you can. Austin Eckler is your every down back, so whenever you can, get what you can. 87 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Get what you get. And for their last pick, Mark Webb, the defensive back out of Georgia, only 3 tackles, special teams ace, an amazing special team coverage, man. You get what you get. So overall, I'm going to give this draft class a B because they hit on what they needed, and they're going to keep building this team up. And I loved it. I love what the Chargers are doing. You know, get everything while you can while Justin Herbert's still cheap. Because he's going to get expensive. I'm going to tell you that right now. Justin Herbert's going to get really expensive in like 3 years. If he keeps winning, he's going to get expensive.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what it is. That's just how it goes. Capitalize on the young rookie quarterback and get what you can now. Now, the Chargers, man, week 1, when they played Washington, they looked good. I mean, they look good. You know, I'm going to tell you like this. The first 5 weeks, I thought the Chargers were the best team in the AFC. I don't think there was any doubt. I don't think there was anything because Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Joey Bosa, All those guys, Asante Samuel, Derwin James, everybody just, they're just good. The Chargers are just good. I think the only thing that's holding back the Chargers, and it's not their fault to their own, it's just a physical game. It's injuries. I think just somewhere along the line, Mike Williams goes down. He got a new contract, by the way. Kenneth Murray goes down. It's just one of those things where it's like, if you're a Chargers fan, you have to be pretty upset about the injury bug that keeps happening to the Chargers every single year, because you look at the Chargers on paper and you're like, how can they not win the division? Brandon, in one word, give me your best word to describe the Los Angeles Chargers.
Lost opportunities. I know that's not one word, but lost opportunities. I can't really say one word for the Chargers. It just feels like it's a lost opportunity. Like you just said, it's injuries every year, damn near, especially later in the stretch of the season when you don't really need injuries. And I get it, it's NFL, it's going to be a tough time to play, but when you're playing against like Kansas City and you had a chance to win on a Thursday night, and then out of nowhere, Travis Kelce just catches a touchdown pass and runs through, it's like, come on, it's not even normal. And it's just that. And I think that just the injuries, and plus we shall see really what this head coach really is, because now you have no excuses. To me personally, as a head coach,
really
with all of the players that you just signed and bought in, you got to figure something out. You can't. I get he's offensive mind, but now it's kind of like, dude, you got to fix that defense somehow, some way. You got to get it real.
I find it weird. Well, it's opposite actually. Brandon Staley was the defensive coordinator for the Rams.
Oh yeah,
and there's no way you have that talent on defense that I just named, and you're 29th overall. Put it this way. There's no way.
You just said a key. Joey Bosa was in and out of the lineup a lot. Keith Murray, who had an incredible rookie year, got injured. And plus, you said it perfectly. You had Emmanuel, Asante Samuel Jr., but the problem was you had no other cornerback other than him. Derwin James was hurt most of the season. It was just a lot of ups and downs that whole season. I mean, the D tackle, Jeremy.
I give it up to the Chargers, because you know what? It's that Thursday night Kansas City game. Had they just played smarter, and again, this is just Brandon Staley getting caught up in the moment. Go for ones. Don't go for twos. Because had they gone for ones, they probably would have won the game.
They would have won.
And I think the Chargers are there to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think if you tell me right now, out of all the teams, who do I think is more ready to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. I know Russell Westbrook was just brought in. I know the Raiders just made the playoffs. But if we're looking at it from team, depth, everything, I'm going to say the Chargers are better prepared to play the Chiefs.
I would say the Chargers could beat the Chiefs. I don't think they can win a division. That's different.
I can say that.
See,
I can say that.
It's two different things. See, I think they can beat the Chiefs. I don't think they can win a division.
I think if they could beat the Chiefs this upcoming year, I think they can take the division.
I think they can beat the Chiefs twice, but I think they could lose to the Raiders or the Broncos.
You know what? You know what's so funny about them when the Chargers play the Raiders? They can handle the Broncos. They could play a competitive against the Chiefs. But for whatever reason, even on that Monday night matchup, when they were up 21-0, the Raiders went down the field in the fourth quarter 3 times, and they tied it up late in the game. I don't know what it is about the Raiders that the Chargers play against. It's just they stoop to their level of competition. And it's like, as a Raider fan, I appreciate that. But as a fan that watches the game and loves the game, I just kind of think to myself, like, why? Like, how? How?
But you just said it. It's divisional. Every divisional team has that one team that you could beat them. but you just don't. You know you can beat them. It's on paper.
Well, they
like,
beat them in
yeah,
the
we can
Monday
beat
night
them.
matchup in week 4 at SoFi. But people remember them as, and here's the messed up part about that Monday night matchup. Then very next day, they weren't even talking about the Chargers winning. They were saying, "Oh man, the Raiders just didn't look good. They look like." I'm like, are we not going to give any credit to the fucking Chargers for beating a 3-0 team? Like, I don't get it. Like, it just, you know what? It's just the perception of the media. I think, especially NFL Network and ESPN. It's just, I think,
They got
and
high hopes for the future. They got
it's
high
sad
hopes for the Chargers.
because it's like, oh well, we already know who the Chargers are. They're going to choke it away. And here's the thing about the Chargers:
What do they have?
they fought every single game, and then that last game, that Sunday night matchup, I'm going to tell you like this: Justin Herbert was incredible. Everybody else was not.
Yes.
Justin Herbert, now put it this way. I know the Chargers lost. I am a huge Raider fan. I was at that game. Justin Herbert was the best football player in that game, and he still lost.
Didn't he have like 400 yards passing?
Understand this. We put the man in 3rd and long situations 8 times, and he converted all 8 times. Again, for everybody that's going to watch this video later, on that Week 18 matchup of Sunday Night Football,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert was the best football player in that game. It wasn't Max Crosby. It wasn't Joey Bosa. It wasn't Keenan Allen. It wasn't Mike Williams. It wasn't Derek Carr. It wasn't Darren Waller. It wasn't Hunter Renfrow. It wasn't Josh Jacobs. It wasn't Daniel Carlson. Out of the 94 that dressed up for that game, Justin Herbert was the best football player in that game. And the Chargers defense
Let him down.
let him down again.
Let him down.
And I say again, his 3rd year in the league, the 3rd time his defense has let him down
Well,
to get into the playoffs again.
I think it's been his 3rd year, right?
No, this was his 3rd year because he came out of the same class. I'm sorry, this will be his 3rd year. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
His 2nd year. And what happened? His defense let him down again. To a Raiders offense that you can go to any NFL fan, they couldn't name you their starting wide receivers. They couldn't name you your starting offensive line. They don't even know other than Max Crosby, there's nobody else in that defense that they could have probably named.
I don't even know if they knew Max Crosby.
The Chargers have a special talent at quarterback, and they know this. Oh, they better know this. Justin Herbert is a special talent at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am going to have to knock him down a few notches because he was caught on national television to say, I never wanted a tie so bad in my life. But I can understand coming from his point of view because, again, his defense let him down. You let Josh Jacobs pick up a 1st down on a 3rd and 5. Up the gut. Something tells me, that defense just wasn't it. It just wasn't it again. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough.
The fact that the head coach called a timeout to put the run defense in, and they still gave up a 1st down. It's embarrassing. It's like, he put in the run defense just to give up the 1st down.
I want people to understand the Chargers and Raiders were about to tie.
They were about to tie.
The second Brandon Staley called that timeout, the Raiders said, "Oh, you're trying to win still? Okay."
And ran.
And when he got that smirk on Derek Carr's face when he looked at the ref and he went, I got a badass kicker. Watch him kick this 47-yarder.
I know he was on my fantasy team.
So you know
how
badass of a badass kicker he is.
Oh yeah.
Like that dude.
Don't miss at home.
It's like
don't miss at home. That was a stupid decision. I don't understand that one. That was very dumb. He don't miss
at that home. Point. The Raiders had nothing to lose. They're like, we could tie.
Oh, we can win. Whichever one.
We don't care. We're in. That night was no pressure on the Raiders because nobody thought they were going to get that far anyway because of the season that they had.
Mm-hmm.
All the pressure on the Chargers was because, the Chargers are supposed to be the second best team in the division. They're supposed to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and blah, blah, blah. That was the preseason hype. And they failed again. Why? Because the defensive coordinator of a head coach is just that. He's a defensive coordinator.
We shall see. Well, we shall see.
No. If he fails to make the playoffs this year,
that's a different conversation.
He has to go. I'm sorry, he has to go. You're not going to waste the third year of Justin Herbert in his young career. You're not going to waste that. You're not going to waste that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you waste his third year,
you got to go.
Coming up on the extension. He's coming up on the extension that fourth year. You pretty much is telling this head coach, "Listen, we got to go. You got to go." You got to go. Now I don't know.
Coach at Purdue, go be linebackers coach at a college. I'm good.
You might get rehired. You might even get rehired by the Rams. Who knows? But no.
It's just, to me, it's just how the Chargers missed this. Like how the Chargers. It just baffles me because I look at the Chargers lineup and I'm like,
on paper,
this year, I'm blaming it all on Brandon Staley. Like, dude, you don't even have to be a good defense.
Can you just make?
You were just brought in to bring the Chargers to middle of the pack. You weren't.
That's it.
That's it. You just be middle of the pack. And you can't even do that. Like, come on. Like, there's going to be serious questions if the Chargers miss the playoffs next year. And it's like, do I think Brandon Staley should go? Yeah, fuck yeah. His back should have been packed to week 15.
If we literally had a conversation on a Tuesday morning, if Kyle Shanahan should be fired, or at least on a hot seat, when his team was just barely struggling because they weren't healthy. If Brandon Staley can't get the Chargers to the and by the way, Kyle Shanahan barely has a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo's okay, he's decent, but he ain't got Justin Herbert. Like,
you give Kyle Shanahan Justin Herbert, watch what the fuck happens.
The 49ers go to the Super Bowl and win it. That's the 49ers of the Super Bowl.
You give Kyle Shanahan a Justin Herbert type quarterback, watch what the fuck happens.
It's over. You go ahead and cancel Christmas for the NFC. It's done. You can go ahead and put it on ice. It's over.
For me, it's this. Brandon Staley needs to figure this out. And how they played this free agency is going to tell me everything, what kind of a coach he is. Because honest to God, I truly believe that the Chargers can win the division next year. I truly believe that. It's just the only thing I believe that is holding them back is the man in the headset.
I will say
it's not the players on the field. It's not the game plan. It's the man making the decisions on the headset on game day. That's who I believe is going to hold the team back more than anything in this freaking world. And it's not even about injuries, because I think they could get through injuries fine. I believe the man on the headset on the sideline is going to either determine did the team get held back, or is the team good, or did the team get to the playoffs? And here's the shitty part about Brandon Staley's situation. Oh, you made it to the playoffs, yeah, because you have J.C. Jackson and Asante Samuel, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Kenneth Murray, blah, 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 and he's still not going to get the credit because, you had to bring all these guys in to make your defense better. You couldn't do it because you're a defensive coordinator, because you had Aaron Donald on your defensive team. Yeah, anybody would look good as a defensive coordinator when you have Aaron Donald.
And Jalen
Ramsey. See what I mean?
Eric Waddle.
Yeah. So anybody would look good. But It's going to be tough because they did have a tough free agency. I mean, for every good they did, it felt like there was a lot of bad that happened in between. And I'll explain why. First linebacker that left, and it was a big shocker to me that he didn't resign with the Chargers. Uchenna Nwazu, the linebacker, is now heading to Seattle. It happens. But when you bring in a Khalil Mack, I get it. I get it. Justin Jones, he's heading to Chicago now. Kazir White, who was actually not that bad in pass coverage, is now heading to Philadelphia to fill the Alex Singleton role. Steven Henderson, who was backup tight end, is now going to be backup to Zach Ertz in Arizona. Another weapon for Kyler Murray. Kyler Fackrell is now going to be heading to Vegas to reunite with Patrick Graham, who his best career numbers were with Patrick Graham. Scott Queensberry is now heading to Houston to compete for the starting center job. But on the flip side of it, you did have good players come to you. First one being J.C. Jackson, Mr. Interception. Him and New England couldn't come eye to eye as far as pricing and, what his value was worth. And the Patriots said, go get your money. We're good. Because we already know this. When you're a Patriots player and you ask for big money, Bill Belichick's just going to let you walk. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And, and it happens to Hall of Famers. Ask Willie McGinnis. Ask Richard Seymour. Ask homeboy Ronnie Harrison. Ask the other safety that they had. What's his name? The other safety.
Hell, once you get there, ask Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah. No, ask his father.
That's what I'm saying.
Ask Asante Samuel Jr. Hey, why did Bill let go of your father? Ask the same thing. It's the same deal. The same deal. They did bring in Austin Johnson, I'm sorry, the defensive tackle from the Giants. And I actually like this pickup because it helps the offense a little bit. The guy they did bring in, Gerald Everett, the tight end from Seattle. I think they really did miss Hunter Henry more than I thought they would. Jared Cook was nice. He was okay.
But he has his deficiencies.
And I think Gerald Everett is finally going to go into a system that works for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's going to work for him. They did bring in a long snapper because God knows the Chargers have been kind of bad on special teams here for quite a bit. And I think Josh Harris, one of the better long snappers from Atlanta. And then they just recently signed DeAndre Carter, the speedy wide receiver from Washington. And, just another weapon. Again, another weapon for the special teams to make kick return, punt returns, everything. So there you go. And they did re-sign some pretty good players. Chase Daniels, the also favorite, the lovable backup, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Because, let's be real. That's what Chase Daniels has always been, the level. He's been the lovable backup since I was in high school, and I graduated in 2009. All right? But he's always been the lovable backup.
Yeah.
Now, Krishna Covington, I did like him coming out of Penn State. I'm glad they were able to get it done, and I think he's going to revitalize, kind of help with the run defense. And this is one where I'm surprised this even happened. I'm surprised Mike Williams re-signed with the Chargers. I'm going to be honest with you. Because at that time, I thought, okay, you know what? This is what's going to happen. He's going to go to Green Bay. He's going to take less money. He's going to be the number 2 to Devontae Adams, but he helped that offense so much. But he got a deal. He got a deal with the Chargers, and I think it's great. I think it's great. I think he stays with Justin Herbert. He keeps building that chemistry with him, and I think it's great. It's awesome to see that they were able to work a deal out, and that's cool. That's when you know that, hey, you know what, they care. And then the biggest trade of all that they did this offseason, they traded for Khalil Mack, linebacker, defensive end, depending on the system. I think they're going to run a 3-4 this year. So I think he's going to be linebacker. And you know what? I can understand why fans are kind of hating this trade or kind of saying, well, that was stupid. because it's like, well, he's injury prone. He's not what he used to be. Chicago paid him all that money and it didn't give him anything. It's like, you know what? I can't control injuries, guys. I can only go from what I see and from what I know he is. And until otherwise, Khalil Mack is still one of the better pass rushers in this league. He's still one of the better run defenders in this league when healthy. And I get it, when healthy. But would I say that's a bad pickup for the Chargers? No, because you gave up a second and a sixth to get one of the better players in the NFL. I'm looking at the Chargers team again on paper. I'm literally looking at their depth chart right now, and I'm saying, if we could just turn off the injuries on Madden, I think the Chargers can win the division. I'm gonna bet a lot of money that the Chargers can win this division. And I know that's coming right from a Raiders fan. You know, I get it, but it's just, how do you not expect me to believe that these guys can't do it? I mean, Brandon, the floor is yours, man. I know I talk a lot, but floor is yours, my man.
I think the Chargers are exactly what you just said. They got a lot of weapons. Again, I said it yesterday, I'm gonna say it again. When we get to the later parts of these rounds, it's just the teams that on paper look extremely good, but you just don't know because they're missing something. And they're gonna keep drafting it, that something, until they find it. And even when they find it, something else is gone now that they got to go now re-sign or trade or draft. So it's just like, I don't know. I think that the Chargers are one of those teams. Every year, you're like, they're missing something. What is it? They're missing something. They bring in a lot of players, a lot of great players. They re-sign even some players. They got something, but it's just like, what are they going to be? And that's why I'm kind of like, because it's the Chargers. It's the freaking Chargers. I don't know what it is. It's the freaking Chargers. They're going to find a way.
What gets me. This is what gets me more than anything. You let go of Anthony Lynn because his defense was terrible, but his offense was amazing. Brandon Staley's in that same boat, and he's actually a defensive coordinator. I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason the Chargers keep doing this to themselves, but I can't say it because I don't want to get canceled. And here's the thing where the Chargers are failing at right now. You know, I look at the Chargers and I'm like, man, how lucky is LA to have two good football teams? But you go to LA, there's no home field advantage for the Chargers.
Oh, the Rams.
As the Rams just won a Super Bowl and their parade looked like as worse as when the Aces won the WNBA Finals. Nope. LA is an amazing market for the Dodgers. It's an amazing market for the Lakers, as terrible as they are. It's an amazing market for USC because everybody loves USC in Southern California. It's just, it baffles me to know, even though the Rams won the Super Bowl, their parade was terrible. It kills me to know that as good as the Chargers are, why is it that these guys can't build a fan base? And I get it. The San Diego, fan base, they stayed behind in San Diego. They're never coming to LA. They're never coming. That's just how it is. And you know what? Just to get into that, I think that's stupid. Me personally, I always found that stupid. I can't imagine you being a fan of this team for so long and you're not going to go for them anymore because they left to another city.
I can actually understand that because it was like if the Saints leave New Orleans, I'm kind of done with the Saints. It's like, what's the point? I actually understand it.
It's just what, but they're not leaving.
They did kind of leave. They left their city, and it's kind of like that was
because of Hurricane Katrina. That's different.
I'm saying like if they were to relocate, period. which they would never do. But
Exactly. But I mean, we're talking here. Like, understand this. Like, I was never an Oakland Raider fan. I was never a Los Angeles Raider fan. I'm not even a Las Vegas Raider fan. I'm just a Raider fan. I don't care if they play in San Antonio. I don't care if they play in Timbuktu. Like, I go for the team, not the city. And I never understood that. Like, understand if the San Diego fans would just wrap that around, it's like, dude, they need you.
But you also understand that, like, also that might be the only sports team they have ever. I get it, they got the Padres. I get it, they got the Padres, but who the freak wants to go to the Padres game? Like, that's real. So it's like, especially with Fernando Tatis now out, it's like, come on, who's watching this? But yeah, I mean, I can understand why you would probably be like, you know what, they're not here anymore, so I don't really have to root for them. But I would understand if you're like a young kid and that's all you've seen was the Chargers in San Diego, and then they just up and left you. It might be some hard feelings. It might be.
I understand there was hard feelings. Of course, there was hard feelings. I understand that completely. When the Raiders moved from Oakland to Vegas, nobody understands that more than me. I felt bad.
I actually understand why the Vegas Raiders left Oakland. That damn Coliseum was getting a little bit too over. You paying too much for that, and everyone gonna make any other changes. It's kind of like, yeah, I gotta dip.
But I understand completely why. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I felt bad for the city of Oakland because they love the like. I understand
they love the Raiders, man. That black hole was real.
So I understand that completely. But I mean, that doesn't give them. It's like, well, fuck, F Vegas, and it's like, listen, man, it's not about Vegas. It's about the team still. I mean, this is still the Raiders. Nothing changed. They didn't change the
team name.
They didn't change the team name. They didn't change the logo. They didn't change anything. Yeah. The problem, I get it. The problem is they changed cities, and it's gonna take a while. I understand that completely. And my uncle went through the same thing when it went from Oakland to LA, back to Oakland. I asked my brother. He was inconsolable the day they left Los Angeles. You couldn't talk to him because he was a kid and he didn't understand why they had to go back to Oakland. He didn't get that. He just saw his team getting up and just moving, and then that was it. Nobody can understand that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen enough teams move. I've seen enough teams rebrand, refurbish, new franchise. But I just think, for me personally, if any fan of the Chargers watching this, that it was a Chargers fan that is from San Diego, just go. They need you.
They need you bad. Yes,
they need you bad.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not fair that I go to Burger King in Los Angeles and it's like, hey, if you buy this the 2 for $10, enter for a chance to win free Charger tickets. Like, it shouldn't come to that, because it's like, dude, like when the LAFC, LA Galaxy, and the Kings and the Angels are being better marketized than the actual Chargers in LA, it kills me, because it's like, dude, the Chargers have a rich history as well.
Yeah.
They just need a fan base. Like, me personally, I think the NFL screwed them over. Me personally, I think they screwed them. I think the NFL screwed the Chargers over. I think if I were to go back in time and tell Roger Goodell one thing, it's like, listen, man, you want the stadium at SoFi to work? You want the revenue to come in for SoFi? Put the Raiders in Los Angeles with the Rams. Make the Chargers move to Vegas and build from there.
Yeah.
Because Vegas was starving for a football team. They would have taken anybody. And I think had they given them the Chargers, I think they would have just been ecstatic. I think it would have been different,
Yeah.
And it is what it is. It is what it is. But, I think it would have been different if Roger Goodell would have just said, move the Raiders to Los Angeles and the Rams to Los Angeles and just keep, and, put the Chargers in Vegas, I think it would have been different. I think the Chargers would have had a better chance of fandom than anything else. But I mean, there's nothing we could do now that the teams are set. I mean, it kills me to see that, every time I look at SoFi, there's more away jerseys than there are home jerseys. And it kills me because it's like, you know what? Like, everybody makes fun of the Chargers, but it's like, as a Raider fan myself, the Chargers, they have a nice franchise. The Chargers do. It kills me to go to SoFi and it's like, this isn't right. This isn't right. Like, it kills me. They should have never left San Diego to begin with. If anything, they should have approved the stadium in San Diego just for them to stay. But it is what it is. I mean, but I think if once you start winning in LA, that's when they'll start caring.
Yeah.
Because it's all about winning in LA. Even though the Lakers are down in their dumps right now, they're still they're still one of the hottest tickets in LA. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. And the Rams just won a Super Bowl, so they'll be popular for a bit. And then USC, well, now that they got the new head coach from Oklahoma, they'll have some popularity here in a bit. But it's just what it is. It's just LA. The problem with LA is just there's so much to do, and if you're not winning, nobody cares, kid. Nobody cares, and that's a shame because people should care about the Chargers. They're representing your city, so. That's all I got to say about that. But enough of the sentimental stuff. Let's get into the first round selection. So here we go. Pick number 17. The Chargers were one game away from making to the playoffs. I know that's going to be stewing for them this whole offseason. So, Brandon, here they come. Here comes Roger Goodell with the 17th pick in the draft. What name is Mr. Goodell going to be reading off that card for the Los Angeles Chargers?
Okay. Oh, good guy. Okay, so with the 17th pick in the 2022 draft, the Los Angeles Chargers will select Keith Walker III, running back from Michigan State. I went completely off the board, and I'm going to say why. I feel like, I know people are going to say, in a first round, you're going to draft a quarterback? You're going to draft a running back? Yeah, I'm going to draft a running back, especially for the Chargers. I don't know how much longer Austin Eckler got in the tank. Just me personally, I just don't know how long he got left in the tank. He gets injured a lot. And recently, he's getting injured a lot more now, which is kind of ironic. Or maybe it's because he's short and he's a goddamn short running back and he has to do everything for your goddamn offense just to get you guys going. I think Keith Walker III from Michigan State is what you need. You need a power back. You need Austin Eckler to not do so damn much. And maybe he stays healthy when you need him the most. And I don't think they have that. I don't think they have a sizable grounded pound running back. They don't. They got Justin Jackson, kind of, but I don't even trust him in certain situations. And I think with that team, if you're Justin Herbert, you need Austin Eckler on that field as long as you can, and this will actually help him. I think Keith Walker III is rising up in certain people's charts, and I think the Chargers, if you're there, I don't really see how the Chargers they don't really need a lot of other things. They kind of need a goddamn running back that kind of can be serviceable for as long as he can be. And I think that's kind of why I took Keith Walker III for the Chargers. I'm like, you really don't have that many other things. You kind of need Austin Eckler as healthy as you can get him, which means you're going to need a grounded pound running back, especially late in the season when you're going up against the Raiders, the Denver Broncos defense, the Patriots defense. You're going to need a grounded pound. Austin Eckler can do so much, but then eventually he can't be healthy. And like you just said, Week 18 against the Raiders, everybody else outside of Justin Herbert was freaking terrible. So if you can keep Austin Eckler as upright as you can, go get a running back. And I think Keith Walker III actually fits the Chargers because he's a grounded pound running back.
I think what it'll also do, it'll take pressure off the defense to not stay on the field that long. I think if they, I mean, it's not going to make them better, but it won't make them stay on the field as long. I mean, they're still going to have their issue. Here's my thing about this, about that pick. Do I believe he's a first rounder? Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Do I think anybody takes a running back? No.
And that's why I said
I don't think so.
I
I just find it very hard for this running back class to get any traction going.
And that's why I think that a lot of people would be like, that's why I said it's completely off the board, because nobody would have thought to take a running back. Like, you're going to take a running back in the first round. But all of the things they need, they kind of already fixed. They needed linebackers. They got Khalil Mack. They got T. Murray. I mean, listen, they could have got a linebacker. They could have went O-line. But to me, I think you need a running back, because at the end of the day, you need to keep Austin Eckler, who is pretty much your most sizable outside offensive weapon outside of Justin Herbert, upright. Mm-hmm. And as long and he's getting older. We can keep acting like Austin Eckler's not getting older. He's been in this league for damn near over a decade now. He's getting older.
You're right.
And I think if there's any person to, like I said, if it's anything that can stun anybody, it is a running back. Like you're gonna take a running back, but I think he fits the team. I think he fits that team. I think they need a ground and pound running back. They don't have one. They need, like you said, time of possession is going to be of the utmost importance, especially, and plus, we forget Brandon Stanley went for like 4 downs. Like 4 downs. Like he went for 4 downs. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. He went for 4 downs in games where it was like really important.
And the thing was, he used Austin Eckler for the tough 1-yarders, and it's just he's not built for that. That's not
Austin
Eckler is not built for the 4th and tough.
That's not his game. And I think
I'm not saying he's not tough, but that's not his game.
That's not his game. And I think Keith Walker III comes in and he quickly puts that team on a different level, because, like you said, time possession is massive. And if you're a defensive coordinator, what do you know more? You need to run a damn ball. You need to unscrew that clock as long as you can. And if you got Keith Walker III, what Michigan, he knows how to play in the Big Ten. He knows how to play in grind and pound games. In that division, to win the division, to me, you're going to need to run the ball. And you're going to also need Austin Eckler upright later in that season. And if he's already doing 4th and 1s and he can't get the 4th and 1s, what you going to do? You going to run Justin Herbert now?
It's not that I'm saying I don't like the pick. It's just I don't think running back is a big need for them. I really don't. I think if they get Kenneth Walker, I think it's, how do they say, a luxury pick?
What's wrong with a luxury pick?
It's a luxury. It'll be a luxury pick. It'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, but if they do go that route, they need to win the division. I'm going to tell you that right now.
To me, like I said, I think they could beat Kansas City, but I don't think they can really win the division. And they need something that could win the division. And I think that wins them the division, because they need a ground and pound running back, to me. Because I kept looking and I'm like, Austin Eckler gets hurt, especially later in those seasons. He gets hurt late in the season every damn year. Why? Right. Because you're running him every damn game. Every game he's got damn near 20, 30 carries. It's like, dude, you need to stop that. You need a running back that can actually grind and pound these guys. And they don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, and see, but this is my thing about it. You know, you can have
especially in cold weather games. You're coming from LA and you're going to Denver and Kansas City in late games. That's a problem. You're in the snow and you're trying to run Austin Eckler all damn day.
No, here's my thing about it. I mean, getting a running back to hide your defensive issues is only going to work for a little while.
Which it will. But but if you're a defensive coordinator that's supposed to be knows how to fix a defense, a little while gives you enough time to figure out what the hell you really are doing.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that it's a terrible pick. It's just, do I think it's a big need? No, not really. I mean, they could probably get a running back in the second round if they really need a running back. They could probably wait to the second round to get it. I'm gonna go a different route here. I'm gonna go with the guy that, remember, the Chargers were the worst run defense in the NFL. I'm gonna say this again. The Chargers were the worst run defense in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
29th overall. There's not a lot of good things to talk about the defense. And in order to fix the defense, well, you got to draft defense. So that's why, for me, with the 17th pick in this year's draft, I believe the Los Angeles Chargers will select George Karlaftis, defensive end out of Purdue. Listen, man, this guy, I mean, he's not the flashiest dude. All right, he's not the flashiest. All right, let's be real here. Let's be real here. But does he fix your run defense right away? Oh, yeah. At 6'4", 275, oh yeah. He'll definitely help you fix that run defense. You know, 2-time second team All Big Ten, first team All Big Ten in 2021, third team All American in 2021. And look, when he started as a freshman. All right, that's hard to do. That's hard to do in any level in college, to start as a freshman. But he did it for Purdue. 54 tackles, 8 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, an interception, and 2 pass deflections. He's all over the field, man. He might not have combine speed, but he has game speed. And in 2020, unfortunately, it was a short season because of the whole COVID thing, and he only played in 3 games. But in those 3 games, 4 tackles, 2 sacks, again, he's all over the field. And in 2021, 36 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 pass deflections. So what am I saying here? Why not get you a defensive end that's going to help you stop the run and actually improve your run defense little by little? And should they switch to a 3-4? It's no problem. It's no problem. You got the players. You have the depth. Move him as a defensive end. Put Khalil Mack behind him. Put Joey Bosa behind him. It doesn't matter. Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are only there for one purpose, to get to the quarterback. They're probably going to give 2 shits about the run. They already have their big nasties up front to stop the run. If you add him, it just gives you more depth. It gives you a better chance to improve your run defense. And I get it. Running back, I get it. Listen, there was that one year where DeMarco Murray had an amazing year, and it's like, yeah, but the defense sucks for the Cowboys. And it happened in the playoffs because DeMarco Murray couldn't get running until late, and the defense couldn't do nothing. Your defensive deficiencies only last a little bit with the running back. When you draft defensive players, it helps. It fixes it immediately. And I think he's the best one. I think at this point, the best comparison I got for him is Ryan Kerrigan. We all remember Ryan Kerrigan. Not the flashiest guy. Never the best player on any defense he was on. But he did his job.
Oh, yeah.
And he did his job really well. And I think that's the highest limit he can get, is a Ryan Kerrigan. No, I'm not saying you want to get a Ryan Kerrigan in the first round. Yeah, if it improves your run defense, and it actually, remember, you said in order to win this division, you need a strong running game. Look at Denver, Javonte Williams. Look at the Raiders, Josh Jacobs. Look at the Chargers, Austin Eckler. You have to stop those 3. Because if those 3 get going, Patrick Mahomes is going to get going. Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson's going to get going. Derek Carr is going to get going. You need to stop the run. And I think George Karlaftis, the defensive end out of Purdue, would be a perfect fit for the Los Angeles Chargers in that defense that Brandon Staley's trying to run.
Yeah. I
get it. Charger fans are going to look at this and be like, these are not the sexiest pick. It's not about being sexy at this point, Charger fans. It's about what player can I draft that I know immediately can get over the hump? And for me, it's the defensive end out of Purdue.
That's a good pick, though. I'm not here. I think if you go to the Chargers, that 100% helps the Chargers immediately because now you got a guy that can stop the run, but he also has a pretty good damn pass rusher.
I mean, his skill set's not that bad. I mean, understand this. When he was fully healthy,
he's got a little man.
In the 2 years that he was healthy, understand this. He had almost 14 sacks. That is 7 sacks. That's good enough for a slow defensive end if people want to call him slow. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's just, it all depends if Brandon Staley can just make the charge. So that's our picks today. So Brandon's got Kenneth Walker, the running back. I got George Karlaftis, the defensive end out of Purdue. You guys let us know in the comments, who would you rather go? Defensive end, running back, or maybe there's a better option. Maybe there's another option that we're not looking at. And this is what I would do if I was the Chargers. That's what Brandon would do if he was the general manager for the Chargers. But maybe there's a better option. But tomorrow we have a fun one. We got a fun one. We're going to be doing 2 teams tomorrow. At number 18, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. And at pick 19, we got the New Orleans Saints. So we're going to be talking about the Eagles and Saints. I know you're ready for that one. We're going to make their selections. Their second of first-round selections. And then other than that, that's about it. So I want to thank everybody that did tune in today on Instagram Live. Michael, Frocast, thank you so much on Instagram Live for tuning in. Mike, again, thank you so much for tuning in on YouTube as always, showing your support. Brandon, it's always awesome to talk to you. And everybody that's going to watch this video later, have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. Please like and subscribe so we could do some more fun stuff. And like I said, tomorrow it's about the Eagles and the Saints. So we got a doubleheader tomorrow, and we cannot wait. Until then, I'm your good old boy JR. That is Brandon. We will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody.